Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video we'll take a look at Paladin Legendaries. You'll be surprised, but Paladin is actually one of those classes that I'm very excited about Shadowlands. Not particularly Retribution Paladin, Prot Paladin, or Holy, but rather the class itself. I love the different skills and utilities that now all specs share, and how there's certain talents that are interchangeable between specs that now give, I think, more Paladin identity rather than Retribution Paladin, Prot, or Holy. It is really nice to see some of the different toolkits you have as a Paladin. And Legendaries should also add a little bit extra excitement. Since Flaskatorin is able to teleport you straight to Legendaries, I want to check him out. As usual, Legendaries are not going to be RNG this expansion, so it'll be interesting how this will be implemented, buffed and nerfed, and if this will be better. But you'll be able to choose your Legendary once you have the recipe, as well as secondary stats. Well, let's take a look at some of the Legendary effects that we have to play with in this expansion in the early alpha, as most of these Legendaries will most likely get buffed and nerfed before the actual release. So the first Legendary we have is going to be Retribution Paladin Legendary. We'll take a look at Prot, then Holy, and then non-spec specific. Now with Red, I think we have them all up here, yeah. So actually a lot of the Paladin or Retribution Paladin Legendaries, I actually thought would function for other specs, and we can test them because a lot of abilities cross over. Well, we're gonna start with the chess piece. Replace Templar's Verdict with Final Verdict. So now the ability actually did change. Yeah, the name and the tooltip is a little different. Wasn't Final Verdict a talent back in WoD? Replaces Templar Verdict with Final Verdict. A devastating strike that deals a bunch of holy damage, has a 50% chance to activate Hammer of Wrath and reset its cooldown. Wait, so it has a 50% chance to just toss in a hammer? What? That seems a little nuts. That seems a little insane, to be honest. What is that? I love the animation. Massive hammer. Wait, did I just hit Hammer Wrath for free? Okay, my actions. Hammer Wrath, Wake of Ashes, Final Verdict. No, so it has a chance to make your Hammer Wrath active, as in it can be used on an enemy no matter the health percentage. So normally Hammer Wrath is active during Avenged Wrath and during Execute, so this makes the chance for Hammer Wrath to just be usable. I love the animation. I cannot get over that at all, by the way. That looks insane. Yeah, this is insane. This is crazy. This is awesome. It looks, I mean, it looks fantastic. It's a massive hammer just slamming down the enemy. It even has a bit of a spin to it too. Wow, the procs for Hammer Wrath are 50%, and they're really, like, you really do get to feel the 50%. I mean, it's, you know, 1 in 2 chance, but this is awesome. This feels great to play with. This adds a little bit extra to the Retribution Paladin rotation. And let's be honest, like, Retribution Paladin rotation isn't the most, like, crazy thing in the world. Also, Templar's Verdict is a little bit different. Well, with the Final Verdict animation, it's more like the Warrior Slam animation. Like the actual, like the character plunging their weapon downwards at the enemy. I guess I should make this a little bit darker so you guys might even be able to actually see it for a sec. That looks awesome. Huge fan. I actually like this one a lot. I don't know how good this will be, but this is so fun to work with and looks amazing. I'm a fan already. Then we got Pants where Divine Projectile. Okay, let me try this again. Projects Divine Storm forward 20 yards, damaging all enemies in its path. Also increases the damage of Divine Storm by 20%. This is going to be huge, especially with Imperial Power to grant extra damage. I think that's going to be nuts. So this is actually, I think, a trait from Retribution Paladin Artifact Weapon, where it made Divine Storm project forward. It actually had a heal effect too, so you could, like, off-heal allies. It's not like we actually use it for off-healing, but in massive AoE group, having some heals on the side wasn't a bad idea. So this makes you Divine Storm, as it says, kind of just like travel forwards, which looks absolutely insane. So I can hit multiple targets with it, so that's going to be really cool to line up in Mythic Plus situations. I mean, the Divine Storm that Paladins normally have without the Lego, like the big AoE effect near you, you could kind of get between enemies, right? It's fairly easy, but the Divine Storm, the actual storm that travels forward, does make it easier to line up this ability. It didn't need to be in the middle of enemies, let's say, are the casting spells, or you're just standing on fire, where you'll most likely die if you stand there. So the damage of it should also be higher, where your Divine Storm will actually probably be the go-to ability for cleave, like a 2-target cleave. Normally, Templar's Verdict has 1,700 holy damage on a single enemy, and this has 1,800, so over 2,000 damage on 2 targets. So yeah, with this, Legendary Divine Storm is the go-to for more than 1 target. This is going to increase the value of Paladins and Mythic Pluses and add that little touch of Legion back into it, which I think is going to go really, really well. I'm actually a huge fan of this so far. Wow, a huge fan of Paladin Legendaries already. Then we have a Glove Legendary where Hammer Wrath extends Avenging Wrath by 3 seconds and deal 20% additional damage. This is why I thought this might be usable on other specs, because all specs of Paladin can use Hammer Wrath. All of them have Avenging Wrath, and technically all of them should be able to have Hammer Wrath extend. So what we will do with this Legendary is we'll actually give this one a go at a later time with Holy and Prot to see if it works. As far as we understand, this is a red only, so it might just function only for red. So let's try this Hammer Wrath. So during Wings, we'll actually be able to have ourselves a little bit extra longer duration of Hammer Wrath every time we, of Avenging Wrath every time we Hammer Wrath. So let me see if I can get myself putting Hammer Wrath on cooldown as soon as I can, but you will need haste for it. But extending your wings just a hair longer. Wait, does it actually work? Hold on. Let me Hammer Wrath. Okay, I think it did help Hammer Wrath there for a second. Well, Hammer Wrath and we'll watch this go up, hopefully. Yeah, so it does extend it. Not by much, but it is sizable. When Paladins are all about that big wings damage, every second inside of wings counts, and every one of them helps. So this is really, really cool. I think it's a good Lego. Again, interested to see if this will work for Holy and Prot. Doesn't seem like the biggest go-to Lego. I kind of like the other ones. I think Divine Storm being stronger or Templar's Verdict being replaced is just, it seems like a nuts and very fun playstyle. But this is still a good one, and with how big Wings is for Paladins in general, might be the go-to as well. Even though I'd be a little sad if it was, you can't underestimate the damage of Avenging Wrath. Then we have Pan. Spending Holy Power grants you 20 haste per Holy Power spent for 20 seconds, stacked up to 20 times. This is actually a Battle for Azeroth trait, just reincorporated back into the Legendary. So with 20 stacks, we got ourselves haste increased by 400. That's a sizable number with how little haste we have on the alpha servers, or beta servers really. So this is actually quite a good amount of haste. Not gonna lie, this is actually a lot of haste. Extra haste to make your playstyle a little faster. I think together maybe with Inquisition you add extra haste on top of it. And that could be a very fast-paced playstyle where you can kind of offset haste and stack other stats like Mastery, Versatility, or Critical Strike. So that could be a good Legendary just for that, just by stats alone. It definitely is not one of the more fun ones, but it's effective. And this is another one that technically all Paladins have Holy Power, so can't everybody stack haste? That is something I want to check on the other specs as well. Alright, next to Protection, and Prot is actually a spec that I kind of understand and actually played on Shadowlands so far. My bars are a mess. I will try to maybe get the very, very basic versions of all my bars here. Man, is it a mess right now. Oh, goodness. Is that how I want to do? Okay, maybe I do. Yeah, okay, maybe that's how I do it, I think. Make sure I get myself a one-hand and a shield. Yeah, I don't think that's actually how my bards normally would be. Also, I was running intellect trinkets. Oh, no. So let's take a look at some of the Protection Paladin Legendaries. Then we'll take also maybe the red ones, see if those function as well. So when it comes to Prot, when Avenger's Shield returns to you, each target hit by Avenger's Shield increases your damage of your next Shield of the Righteous by 40%. So this would be better if I had a bunch of enemies stacked up, but if I toss in a shield, it returns, and now the damage is increased by 40%. So can I actually get a proc off of Avenger's Shield to get this Avenger's Shield back and stack this buff? I feel like it's just slightly ahead of the buff here. Yes, I can. Okay, so if I can get a random proc chance for it to reset, I could stack it quite high. And I think this stacks to 5 stacks at most. Or does it stack? Okay, 5 stacks is max, so the shield is going to hit 4. Well, the shield hit for 1,600 holy damage, and normally it's 500. It's a small buff. I feel like a little bit extra damage is going to be nice, especially in AoE to do damage. I think this is going to be quite a good combo. Definitely not bad at all. I don't know how I feel about it, because usually as a tank, you're looking for tanky legendaries in order to make your roll easier. But I guess if you want to go Mythic Pluses, this could give you the extra damage you need in order to pick up aggro. Decent damage, and it's going to be much more consistent in the Mythic Plus scenario. Then we have a necklace that says, reduce damage taken while Ardent Defender is active by additional 10%. And when you activate Ardent Defender, it also applies to nearest ally within 15 yards. So Ardent Defender is this ability to 1.4. I think it's normally not a 1.4 minute cooldown. I think it's because of... Oh, actually, let's go Cavalier. So you can get the full cooldown. It's 2-minute cooldown ability. It's one of the first defenses you should be pressing as a protection paladin. Or one of the first few that you should be looking at. Reduces all damage you take by 30% instead of 20. That's kind of nice. So with this legendary, you increase the amount of damage you take or reduce. While Engine Defender is active, the next attack that would otherwise kill you, instead you bring you to 20% maximum health, so it has a cheat death mechanic. And you're telling me I can share this ability with the nearest ally? So you can use this for a healer, or you could use this for a tank. And as a tank, you'll most likely be hanging around with other tanks out in the game. So you can use it, let's say the other guy is tanking, and he doesn't have a lot of defenses. You can technically use this to grant the full effect of this ability to an ally. Like a Blood Death Knight is tanking, he doesn't have a lot of defenses. As a prot, you're trying to off-heal him. And now you can come in, stand next to him, pop this ability, and he'll get a buff. This is actually kind of neat. Can I actually use the enemies or allies? Oh no, that's not what I meant to place. Can I just walk next to these guys and see if I can get them the buff of Ardent Defender? Because technically they are friendly-ish. Okay, well, I guess it's in a party, right? Is that the part that I missed? Nearest ally? No, so I guess it has to be a player. But yeah, that's interesting. I like that because it gives you more uses for this ability. I still think paladins will end up using Ardent Defender more selfishly, but granting, let's say, a melee or a healer, 30% damage reduction on top of your 30% damage reduction is nice. It's a very unique and niche way to create a legendary. Then we have the Helm, where Avenger's Shield has a 50% chance to have its cooldown instantly reset when used. 50% chance. Paladin so far, Prot and Holy, Prot and Red, both have a 50% chance of... I'm just playing Frisbee with a train dummy. Don't worry about me. That's hilarious. I love it. But yeah, if you're getting a lot of procs for your Avenger's Shield, that's just going to be a lot of crowd control because of the silence effect, the interrupt, but also the raw damage. Imagine getting 3 of these back to back. And then just CCing the boss. A boss could just be silenced for... What is this? I'm so lucky. Hold on, one more. Oh my god. Imagine doing this to a healing PvP and DRs weren't a thing. Oh my... How long can you play... I'm just playing Frisbee here, boys. Where's Fido? I gotta throw a Frisbee to him. As soon as I mentioned Fido, it stopped. Okay, I feel you, game. I see how it is. I see how it is. That was hilarious. I enjoyed that maybe too much. I enjoyed that maybe too much. I love it. It's so wacky. It's so weird. But it's definitely going to be very useful for Paladin. It's going to be lots of damage, lots of CC. It procs quite often, as you can see. It's a 50-50 chance, but like that's better than like some of the other classes out here. That looks awesome. Then we got gloves. When you drop below 20% health, you become infused with the Guardian of Ancient Kings for 4 seconds. This cannot occur more than 45 seconds. So this seems to be a legendary where you... probably will have to take damage from an enemy. Okay, cool. We're gonna get to see it. He didn't go for the biggest setup ever, so I'm perfectly okay with it. He'll get my health low enough, fast enough. And we got ourselves Guardian of Ancient Kings. That didn't put our Guardian of Ancient Kings on cooldown. So we got a free Guardian of Ancient Kings, and we have a real Guardian of Ancient Kings available. UI. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So this is awesome. This is great. So this is a cheat death mechanic for Paladin for 4 seconds. So this will give you a 50% damage reduction for 4 seconds. This is great. And then you still have Guardian of Ancient Kings on a 5-minute cooldown. So this is great. I like the fact that it doesn't put it on CD. There are some abilities where you have to check on the alpha because you really don't know until you try them to see if it puts abilities back on CD. You simply do not know until you try. So I'm glad that this is getting... Yeah, I'm glad that I tested it. This is cool. I like it. This is actually such a useful legendary. Then we have the Retribution Paladin legendaries, where Hammer of Wrath can extend the duration of your wings. We have wings. We have Hammer of Wrath. It does extend. It does extend. Wait, I'll just Hammer of Wrath it. I can remove the Word of Glory thing. Hammer of Wrath, look at that. It does extend. So it does work. Even though it's marked for only Retribution, it does work. Okay, and probably works for Holy too. That's huge. That means Holy and Prod have so many legendaries to play with, and I love that because now Paladins have so much more to play. I think Red is not going to have nearly as many as you might want, because Red has 4. And I guess this also count. None of the Prod or Holy ones work for Red. But that's awesome. And finally, Holy Paladin. I'll let you know ahead of time, I'm not a Holy Paladin main, far from it. Barely get to play it, barely really understand it. Well, I mean, you flash heal and then you spread glimmer. That's all I know about it, right? So all the information I have is of BFA version. I haven't had previous experience with it. Some of these legendaries I might not be able to name you if they are from Legion or if it's a tier set. So I apologize ahead of time, but I still do want to check out what they have. So some of these I might be surprised and amazed by, and you guys might be in the chat or in the comments sitting there thinking, Dalaran, this is nothing new. I've played with this as a Paladin for years. What do you mean? So I do apologize for being, I guess, ignorant to the spec. No experience with it prior. Infusion Light has 1 additional charge and its effects are increased by 50%. Infusion of Light. Now what is that? Oh, Infusion of Light is where Holy Shocks have a chance to give you a stronger Holy Light or a faster cast Flash of Light. Okay, that's what we get. So you can stack it up to 2 charges. So you can kind of bank on charges of Holy. That's not bad. Am I playing Crusade right now? I am playing Crusade, am I? So I can actually Crusader Strike in order to get my cooldowns back a little faster, which I'm okay with. Yeah, let's do that. We get a proc. Oh, no, wait, you get 2 at once? So I can heal this rogue once? I can heal this rogue twice. That is value. Talk about big value. I think that's really, really good. Well, yeah, so you get basically for the price of 2, you get, yeah, for the price of, you get 2 for the price of 1, is what I meant to say. That's cool. I like that a lot. I think this is going to be really good if you're worrying about mana. I don't think Holy Shock is that mana expensive though. And I think this ability is pretty mana expensive. Kind of mana expensive. But I guess the amount of healing you do, this definitely does. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I like that. Then we got gloves. Light of Dawn's range is increased by 40 yards. And all allies inside of Light of Dawn will receive 10% extra healing from your spells for 6 seconds. I believe this is a trait from Battle for Azeroth. Added sometime during Gahoon progression, actually. If I'm not wrong. The Light of Dawn should heal everybody. That healed, I got pretty far. I want to see, can you heal this dude from this far away? You healed him. And he's going to take a slight... Oh, big heal. Big crit. So I wonder if this will actually be worse because you're so far away from your allies. But it's hard to tell until it gets tested. It seems like a decent legendary. The 10% actually heal increase is nice. So this seems like it's going to be really good for groups. And I think the servers just... Yeah, the servers just went and lagged themselves. That's great. But this is a good legendary. At least I think it is. I can totally see myself using it. I think it's going to have niche playstyles. I think it's going to be mostly in raids. But I don't think it's a bad legendary by the looks of it. Well, maybe, because I know that nobody really runs the trait anymore. But at some point you did run the trait, where Light of Dawn had more healing and the range is increased. But yeah, this isn't bad at all. Then we have the pants for Holy. Your Holy Shocks protect the target with a shield of light for 18 seconds, absorbing 700 damage over 6 seconds. That's kind of cool. So if you can get a bunch of Holy Shocks back to back, that's pretty cool. Absorbs. Wait, what is it? Bestow the. It's kind of like Bestow Faith, but it has an absorb. Refresh every 6 seconds. Whoa! Imagine that with Glimmer. Right, already Glimmer is gonna have a like a splash heal effect to a bunch of allies, but you also will provide a big absorb heal. So the more haste you have, faster you can get Glimmers out to everybody. So if I'm just going as fast as I can, then yeah, I could do this. Also, I feel like when heal an undead, I think you should take damage because you know it's an undead. I'm gonna try to put a light on him. Yeah, so with low haste that I have, it's not really gonna be that good, but as I get better, as I get better haste, this can actually be quite cool. The absorb is nice. You could predict damage, and it works whether you are going for. I guess this works in so many situations. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this is really cool. I like it a lot. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but I like it a lot. And then, as usual, we'll try Hammer, Wrath, and Wings. See if that extends the duration. And I think it does. Build Hammer Wrath, and we'll just pay attention to this number right here. 22 seconds. 18. It works. So yes, the Retribution, or what is a Mart and Wowhead, and a couple other websites, as a Retribution only legendary. Actually works for a bunch. So really this legendary shouldn't be in the Retribution Paladin tree. It should be like with the rest of the Brady bunch here. So we're gonna put it right here. And lastly, we'll take a look at some of the non-spec specific legendaries that are available for all the specs, minus the gloves. We already took a look at those, and we know that those are available for everybody. Using Hammer of Wrath extends Avenging Wrath. I think it's cool. So it looks like each spec here and here needs one more legendary to complete the set, because Prot has 4. We got the ring. Blessings of Freedom, Sacrifice, and Protection cooldowns are reduced by 1 second when you spend Holy Power. This is actually kind of value and kind of good. So, Blessing of Sacrifice. Can I play Sacrifice to a friend? No. Blessing of Protection. Does it work? Sacrifice, Protection works. So, as I give myself, or maybe an ally, Blessing of Protection. Oh, I guess I can't, so I gotta give it to myself. As I spend Holy Power, this ability will come back slightly faster. So, what's the actual tooltip that reads? 1 second per Holy Power spend. So, 3 Holy Power means 3 seconds shaved off. Which isn't bad, and I guess it's not going to go for procs like Divine Storm proc that I have here with Empyrean Power, right? That's probably not going to work. I think it's definitely not the strongest legendary ever, but maybe for prot, this could be useful. Maybe, well, actually no, because it works for only, so it works only for Blessing of Freedom for mobility, Sacrifice to be able to put a buff on an ally, and Protection. Blessing of Protection to create an immunity from physical damage. Not a bad one whatsoever, kind of like it, kind of cool. But definitely not the strongest thing, but it should be strong since it's not spec specific. Then we have, wait, wrong rings. Because it gives me a ring, and so it's like, oh, it's the best in slot. You don't want to swap it. We got ourselves Boots, Casting Avenging Wrath, or any Forbearance ability grants you 5 Holy Power. So when you bubble, or bop, or lay in hands, or Avenging Wrath, you get 5 Holy Power. Kinda cool. I do like this, like, emergency button plus gives you all that Holy Power, or every time you pop wings plus Holy Power. That is really cool. I like it. Really weird. I wonder if Paladins will actually end up trying to use this legendary to min-max their damage. Then we have the Helm, which is interesting. When you reach 5 Holy Power, you gain Blessing of Dawn. When you reach 0 Holy Power, you gain Blessing of Dusk. During Blessing of Dawn, damage and healing increase by 6% for 10 seconds. When Blessing of Dusk is reached, damage taken is reduced by 6%. This is actually kind of an interesting one. So for Holy Power, you actually kind of do want to build up to maximum Holy Power, just because your abilities are coming back and you want to put them on cooldown as soon as possible. And sometimes you'll be pressing Templar's Verdict in order to spend Holy Power so you're not over-capping. So this actually has some value, to be honest. But let's say we try this playstyle. We're going to see if we can reach full Holy Power. We actually reached 0 Dusk. Now we have Dawn, and we can actually safely kind of hang out in the Dawn and do 6% more damage. I think it's totally possible. Like, I'll just Crusader Strike twice to make sure I cap on my Holy Power. Sometimes you won't be able to, like, for example, you'll have Bladed Justice up, and you'll see you use Bladed Justice, but you only have 2 Holy Power like you do right here. You kind of want to use Templar's Verdict ASAP. If, let's say, you don't have a Crusader Strike to follow right after. But here I'm going to have Crusader Strike coming back. I might as well wait for it so I get the value. It's kind of an interesting legendary that does make you play around your rotation and think a little bit. I wonder if it'll be worth to cap out your Holy Power whenever that happens in order to get the most value. But also it means for Prod and Holy, like Protection going for a Shield of Righteous and not banking on extra Holy Power ahead of time, it kind of rewards you. It gives you a bit of a safety net. So, as a DPS, going for full Holy Power and just maximizing abilities, putting them on cooldown, capping, is going to give you 6% more damage. But if you're a tank, for example, going for Shield of Righteous immediately as soon as you get through Holy Power, instead of banking for extra Holy Power, will also be rewarding because it gives you safety net. It's like, it's fine. You just used all your Holy Power. You have on top of it the 6% damage reduction for 10 seconds. It will take slightly less damage. I think this low-key could actually be quite a pumper legendary. Surprisingly, I think this could be insanely strong. It doesn't look like it. 6% damage increase and damage reduction doesn't seem like a lot. It's not 20% damage increase, damage reduction increase, but it's still quite a, I like it. I don't know what about it. I like it. I actually like, it's an interesting one that makes you play your Paladin different. Why does Paladins have such cool legendaries? And finally, we have the Necklace. Judgment has a 50% chance to reduce the cost of your next Holy Power spend about 1. That's it. I think that was like a holy power. No, it was like a Retribution Paladin tier set, wasn't it? Was it Legion tier set by any chance? So Judgment. And I'm gonna guess it's gonna be Judgment for all the other specs too, right? Here we go. We got ourselves the power. Oh, that reduced. Dagger consumed on a free Divine Storm? I don't like that. But not a bad Lego. Not a bad Legendary at all. Again, just make sure you use it on your proper ability instead of a proc that costs less holy power, because you're just never going to get those refunded at all. Overall though, that was actually quite a good set of Legos. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm surprised how good Paladin Legos are. Like, surprising. They just get getting better and better and better. I feel the Paladin playstyle maybe is just so plain that the Legos just add so much extra playstyle and uniqueness into it that it's just so noticeable. That or these Legendaries are legit some of the best Legos we have for a class that actually give you so many cool choices. Rather, like, most of them are passives, sure, but the way they change the gameplay are either visually pleasing, like the Retribution, some of the stuff, or actually gameplay changing, and a lot of them are, I'd say. This is actually quite a treat if you're going to be playing Paladin in the next expansion. I like this a lot. Definitely this bumps up Paladin to like top 3 classes I want to play in Shadowlands instead of the top 5, where it was like number 4, I'd say. So now I'd say it's a solid 3 at the very least. I think it's going to be a 3rd all to level, just because Shaman is way too fun to look at. But anyway, that's going to be it for now for me in today's video. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Let me know what you think about the Paladin Legos. These are in alpha, so there's a good chance they will get changed around and fixed around, as these look really good. Hopefully Blizzard doesn't really nerf the essence. Maybe the damage and healing, but not the essence of what these Legendaries bring. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Let me know.